guys, it's another retrospective video for Doctor Who. I'm sorry I took so long with this video, but here we are. It's out. Um, this time I'm taking a look at Series 2 of the modern Doctor Who era. Series stars, pretty much the same cast as last season. But we now have David Tennant as the Doctor. Let's get going. Okay, we begin with the Christmas invasion. So, the Crimbo special, the Christmas invasion. Rose and a newly regenerated Doctor continue their adventures together in this Christmas special episode. Christmas becomes a time of terror for planet Earth, as the whole of mankind falls under the shadow of the alien Sycorax. Rose needs the Doctor's help, but can she trust a man with a new face? So, this is just an amazing episode. It had to handle introducing the new Doctor and celebrating Christmas. It doesn't feature much Doctor in the first 3 quarters, but that's all building up to the big sword fight with the villain. Speaking of villains, we have the Sycorax this episode, and they're great fun, and they look proper creepy and horrific. So yeah, really fun episode. Moving on, it's episode 1 of the series, New Earth. The Doctor and Rose board the TARDIS for new adventures in time and space, but when they visit mankind's new home, far in the future, they find gruesome secrets hidden in a luxury episode, and an enemy thought long since dead. The paper-thin Cassandra is out to revenge. Okay, so I find a lot of people don't like this one, and I really don't know why. It's definitely not the best episode of the show ever, but it's harmless fun. Cassandra is excellent as returning villain, and it continues to feature the sort of like future of humanity arc, which started with Cassandra's appearance last year with the destruction of the Earth. Now we're on New Earth, and then that will continue hopefully next series. We'll get to that episode. And Cassandra is great as a returning villain again. I know I've said that. I really like her. She's just so cool. She's really enjoyable. And we're gonna meet cat people. Who doesn't like cat people? Cat people are cat people. On to episode 2, Tooth and Claw. The Doctor and Rose travel back to the year 1879 when an encounter in the Scottish Highlands with Queen Victoria and a band of warrior monks reveals a deadly trap dating back centuries. Perhaps the local legends about a werewolf could really be true. I mentioned last series, when I was covering last series, I don't really like historicals much, and I still don't. There are some nice moments in the episode, but this is pretty much meh. That's what I would describe this episode. I just go meh. Right, okay, moving on to episode 3, the school reunion. The Doctor investigates a London school which is being haunted by strange bat-like creatures. While at the school, the Doctor finds his old friend Sarah Jane Smith already working undercover. Both have old scores they must settle, and Rose discovers the true legacy of being a Time Lord's companion. Man, this episode deserves all the praise it gets. The idea of having a classic companion meet a newer Doctor is something the show should really do more often. Having Sarah Jane and the Doctor have the same chemistry as they did in the 70s is magical, and I just want to say to the actress who plays Sarah Jane Smith, Elizabeth Sladen, her acting is incredible because she's got to act like she's talking to Tom Baker. And obviously she's not, she's talking to a completely different actor, but she speaks with him and acts like him exactly how you would expect her to, like with the man she used to travel with, which is just incredible. And Tennant is able to act like Sarah Jane's this old friend, even though it was like their first time working together. Although Tennant did grow up with the Tom Baker era, so would have grown up with Sarah, so it kind of makes sense that he would sort of know her. But yeah, it's a really good chemistry there between those two characters. And Anthony Stewart Head is the amazingly creepy guest baddie headmaster dude, Mr. Finch. I think it's Mr. Finch. He's a great baddie. Time for episode 4, The Girl in the Fireplace. Madame de Pompadour finds the court at Versailles under attack from the sinister clockwork killers. Her only hope of salvation lies with the man who has haunted her dreams since childhood, a mysterious stranger known only as the Doctor. Can a broken clock summon the Lord of Time? This one's alright. It gets a lot of praise, and personally I think it's a bit overrated, but I understand why people like it. But just for me, I'd say it's Stephen Moffat's weakest pre-showrunner episode, but that's just my opinion. On to Rise of the Cybermen, the 5th episode and the first part of a 2-parter. The TARDIS is trapped on a parallel Earth, and Rose discovers that her father is still alive here. But sinister forces are at work, and British society is being prepared for the ultimate upgrade. Meanwhile, an old enemy of the Doctor's is about to be reborn. Whoa, a brilliant two-parter and a scary introduction for the Cybermen. I actually think this is only one of two, maybe three times in Modern Who where the writers have actually made the Cybermen good. I don't think they've been good since the 1960s. Anyway, the Cybermen aren't in part one much. They're more just as these as the tensions building. But the villain for part one is the sort of creator of these new Cybermen, John Lumick, played by Roger Lloyd Pack. He's great. And I love like the parallel Earth stuff. We see like different Earths. Like we have a president on this Earth instead of a prime minister. It's very interesting. I think it's a lot of fun. It's episode 6 next, which is the Age of Steel. No plot description as we jump in right where we left off, and the Sidemen are shown at full force rampaging the streets. And I think we get shown sort of the true horror of conversion, which is proper creepy. And the Doctor's big confrontation with the cyber controller, Roger Lloyd Pack gets turned into a Cyberman. A bit of a spoiler, I guess. It's genuinely a spine-chilling confrontation, but it's also really awesome. And that ending with Mickey staying in the parallel world is a bit of a heartbreaker. So yeah. It's episode 7 next, The Idiot Lantern. It's 1953, the coronation year of H. Queen Elizabeth II, and the people of Great Britain huddle around their television sets to witness the great event. But behind the celebrations, there are rumours of monsters on the streets, and the tormented Mr. Bagpie is hiding a strange and alien secret. Okay, so this is a great historical, and one I actually like. The message at the end, to do with the dad, which I won't spoil, is really poor, but I think Mark Gatiss does deliver 45 minutes of action-packed fun. Great villain, action, fun antics. Brilliant. Right, on to episode 8, and another two-parter. It's The Impossible Planet. Rose finds herself further away from home than before, in a desolate world in the orbit of a black hole. In the first episode of this two-parter, trapped with an Earth expedition and the mysterious Ood, the time travelers face an even greater danger as something ancient beneath the planet's surface begins to awake. One of the best episodes in the modern show? Oh yes! So the Doctor and Rose are trapped in a base under siege story. Sort of they're trapped in a base, it's under siege, it's a general Doctor Who adventure. And that's just the first step to brilliance. The Ood are a really cool new alien, they're really enjoyable, and you actually really got attached to the space crew you were with, and you slowly yearn to find out the mystery, sort of solve what's going on. And that's really great when a writer can entice you into wanting to know what's going on, instead of you just going, get on with it. Episode 9, The Satan Pit, that continues from last time, and they do actually solve the mystery, and I can put the whole answer to the mystery in 4 words. The Doctor fights Satan. Yeah. I mean, what? What a mad leap from last time's Grounded based onto Siege. This episode is so much fun, and the Doctor versus Satan is really weird, but it's definitely enjoyable. Yeah, so a great two-parter here. You've really got some brilliant stuff here. It's episode 10 next, Love Monsters. An ordinary man called Elton becomes obsessed with the Doctor and Rose and their mysterious blue box. But when Elton's investigations bring him to the attention of the enigmatic Victor Kennedy, his harmless hobby suddenly plunges him into a living nightmare. Okay, this is another episode that gets slated quite often, similar to New Earth. It's one that's just not really enjoyed, but I really enjoy this one. It's the first ever example of a Doctor Light episode. The Doctor doesn't feature in it much. So you're sort of watching ordinary people investigate aliens. But that's a lot of fun, seeing normal people do what the Doctor does. Mixed out with the fact that Peter Kay is amazing as the guest villain, the Absorbaloff, I just really like it. It makes it even better. And a lot of people say they don't like the monster, but do bear in mind this was designed by someone on a Blue Peter competition, a kid who's now a grown-up. But yeah, it was designed by a kid at the time, so you can't really blame them for that. I just really like this one. Anyway, the next story I'd like to cover is episode 11. Fear Her. When the TARDIS lands in 2012, the Doctor plans to show Rose the London Olympics, but on a nearby housing estate, a desperate mother is hiding her daughter's unearthly powers. Can the Doctor defeat the danger nestling at the heart of an ordinary British household? This one deserves pretty much all the hate it gets. If you're ever going to watch the series, there isn't much story arc or anything in here, so you can just watch this one. It's very poorly written. I rewatched it once, maybe twice, just because I was bored. Like, I'd watched every other episode too recently and needed something to watch. But just skip it. It's not very good. I don't even know what else to say. It's just bad. Which is weird, because next, it's great season final time! Woo! Episode 12, The Army of Ghosts. The human race rejoices as the ghost of loved ones return home in the latest adventure from the nation's favourite time traveller. But as the Doctor, Rose and Jackie investigate the Torchwood Tower, the whole of modern-day Earth threatens to fall to an almighty invasion force. Okay, so creepy ghosts and an evil government organisation is exactly the kind of good setup you want for a final. The ghosts, you want to know what they are, what they're doing here, and you want to see this organisation stopped. And you know that's going to build to something massive at the end, so you know that the next episode, the actual final, is going to be even better. It's just so much setup, and that's nice. Seeing Jackie go on an adventure is different and funny. There's a lot of humour there, and the build-up to the reveal of the ghosts actually being Cybermen is great, and the excellent cliffhanger where the cult of Skaro arrive. Oh, so good. Which leads on to episode 13, part 2, Doomsday. Okay. Daleks versus Cybermen. What more could you want? The confrontation of these famous enemies is incredible, but things do get hella dark. Rose is forced into leaving, and the Doctor's heart is broken. A lot of people will die, including Tracy Ann Oberman's character. Her sort of story quite horrific. This episode, it's like a fun gut punch, if that can make any sense, which does finish up this series. It moves us on to my ranking. This will be on the screen, but I'll also read it out for you. At the bottom, once again, before I begin, I count two-parters as one story, so there's only 11 spots on the rank. Number 11 is Fear Her. Like I said, I would just skip this one. I don't enjoy it, just don't watch it. Number 10 is Tooth and Claw. A great sort of, like, it's a Doctor Who story. I don't hate this one, but I don't think it's very good. Number 9 is Girl in the Fireplace. I think everything after this I enjoy, just this one I don't enjoy as much as everyone else seems to enjoy it. Number 8, Idiot's Lantern. I would have liked to put this one higher, as I think it could go higher, but the message at the end, and the sort of lackluster things, there's a few lackluster things in there, put it low, but it is good. Number 7 is Love and Monsters. I wanted to put this above my next spot, but I decided not to, for some reasons. But I think 7 and 11 isn't half bad. Number 6, I put New Earth. New Earth is great. New Earth is awesome. Great opener. It was sort of between this and Love and Monsters, switching between 6 and 7, but I do really enjoy New Earth. Number 5, we have Christmas Invasion. I like Christmas specials. I think some of them are good. Some of them are poor, but this is a good example. It's just a lot of fun. And then at number 4, we actually have the Army of Ghosts. I'm sorry for that noise, it's my clock. Sorry, and at number 4, we have Army of Ghosts / Doomsday. The finale is so much fun. These last 4 are all, like, brilliant Doctor Who. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday is gut punch, but fun. I love it. Number 3 is School Reunion, Sarah Jane Smith, K9, all sorts of things happening. Another great story. Number 2, I put Rise of the Cybermen / Age of Steel. Just another brilliant and enjoyable episode. The Cybermen are at their best, I think, at least in the David Tennant era, possibly in the whole of Modern Who. It's so much fun. And number 1, I did put Impossible Planet / the Satan Pit. Because I genuinely think, based on the Siege, Doctor vs. Satan, the introduction of the Ood, it's all just incredible. Which brings me on to my conclusion. Series 2 is great, but certainly Russell T Davies' weakest series. The highs are high, but the lows are low. Anyway, that concludes this video. So please like and subscribe if you want to help me with the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.